Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Alex, and with me, as always, is the thoughtful and ever-curious Mia. Hey, Mia, how are you today?
Hey, Alex. I'm doing really well, thank you. I've had a pretty reflective week, to be honest. I've been thinking a lot about what the future might look like. You know, plans, dreams, things I want to achieve. So I'm really excited about today's topic, talking about future plans.
That's perfect, because I think everyone has that phase where they sit down and think, where am I going? What do I want in the next 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even longer? And honestly, even though planning sounds simple, it's actually one of the hardest things because life throws surprises at us.
Exactly. And sometimes making future plans isn't just about ambition, it's also about security, values, and the kind of life we want to create for ourselves. So I thought maybe today we could break it down into different areas like career, travel, education, family, personal growth, and just talk openly, like friends usually do.
That sounds like a great idea. Okay, let's kick it off. Why don't you tell me what's at the top of your list when you think about your future plans?
Good question. So, for me, career is one of the biggest parts of future planning. I've always dreamed of building something meaningful in my professional life. Right now, I'm working in a job that's okay. It pays the bills, gives me stability, but in the long run, I want to create something of my own. Maybe a small business, maybe something digital like an online platform. I want to be my own boss at some point.
That's inspiring. So you're not just thinking about climbing the ladder in your current field, but more about carving your own path?
Exactly. Don't get me wrong, I respect people who stick with one career and grow into leadership positions, but personally, I get excited by the idea of creating, innovating, and building. I want my work to feel like an extension of myself. What about you, Alex? What's your big career plan?
Well, for me, it's a mix of stability and passion. I love podcasting, I love storytelling, but I also know that these things don't always pay the bills consistently. So my plan is twofold. On one side, I want to continue building this podcast, maybe expand it into video, maybe even write a book. On the other side, I want to have a stable foundation, maybe consulting or teaching, something where my skills can create security.
That's smart. You're balancing creativity with practicality. Sometimes people think future planning has to be all about dream big, but you're saying dream big, but also make sure you don't starve. Laughs.
Exactly, quarter laughs. Because future plans should give you motivation, not anxiety. And if all your eggs are in one basket, you risk burning out.
You know, one of my future plans is actually going back to study. Not necessarily a full degree, but I really want to take courses that excite me, like psychology, design, or even a foreign language. For me, learning is not just for a job, it's also for personal growth.
That's such an important point. Education is no longer limited to classrooms. We live in an era where you can log into an online course and learn anything. For me, future plans definitely include constant learning. I'd love to master public speaking, maybe even get certified in coaching so I can help others build their skills.
I love that. Because when we talk about future, it's not only about what we do, but also about who we become.
Well said. And who knows, the skills we learn today might completely change our paths tomorrow.
Okay, let's talk about something fun. Travel. Because for me, future plans always include exploring the world. I have a list of places I want to go. Japan, Italy, Iceland. Each one for a different reason.
That sounds amazing. Why those three?
Japan because I'm fascinated by the culture, the blend of tradition and technology. Italy because, well, who doesn't love pasta, history, and art? And Iceland because I want to see the northern lights at least once in my lifetime.
Beautiful. For me, I want to travel not just as a tourist, but maybe even live abroad for a while. Like, I'd love to spend 6 months in Spain or Portugal. Work remotely, immerse in the lifestyle, learn the language, experience a different rhythm of life.
Yes! Long-term travel or living abroad teaches you things no classroom or office can. It reshapes how you see the world.
Exactly. And honestly, I think planning future travel keeps us motivated. Even if it doesn't happen immediately, the thought that one day you'll be walking on the streets of Rome or watching cherry blossoms in Kyoto, it gives life excitement.
So, apart from career, learning, and travel, I've also been thinking about lifestyle goals. For example, I want to live a healthier, calmer life. I want to practice mindfulness. Maybe yoga. Future planning for me is also about how I want my daily life to feel.
That's powerful, because if your daily life is stressful and unhappy, then what's the point of the long-term goals, right? For me, I want to design a lifestyle where I have time for creativity, relationships, and also solitude. I don't want to be so busy chasing success that I forget to live.
Exactly. Sometimes people make these 5-year plans with only achievements listed. I'll earn X money, buy Y house, have Z promotion. But what about happiness, peace, balance? That should be part of the plan too.
Couldn't agree more. In fact, one of my goals is to slow down. I want to enjoy simple things, reading more books, cooking my own meals, spending time with family.
I love that. It's like designing your future around values, not just material milestones.
But let's be real for a second. Making future plans also comes with fear, right? Because sometimes you're scared you won't achieve them, or that life will completely derail your plans.
Yes, absolutely. One of my biggest fears is wasting time. Like, what if I spend years in a job or path that doesn't lead to where I truly want to go? What if I regret not taking a leap earlier?
I feel the same. For me, the fear is unpredictability. What if circumstances, economic changes, health issues, family responsibilities block my path? That's why I try to keep flexibility in my plans.
That's wise, because future planning isn't about predicting every detail, it's about preparing yourself to adapt, right?
Exactly. The goal isn't to control the future, but to be ready for it.
Wow, I feel like we've already covered so much: career, education, travel, lifestyle, and even fears. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and I think this shows how layered the topic of future plans really is. It's not just one straight road, it's multiple paths, multiple choices.
Exactly. And in the next part, maybe we can dive deeper into specific long-term dreams like family, relationships, financial planning, and maybe even the role of technology in shaping our futures.
Yes. So, Mia, when you think about your future, do you picture yourself starting a family?
Hmm, that's an interesting one. Honestly, I do, but not immediately. For me, it's less about a timeline and more about readiness. I'd like to reach a place in my life where I feel emotionally and financially stable enough to raise children. Because raising a family isn't just about love, it's also about responsibility.
I respect that. And I think a lot of people our age feel the same way. The old idea of getting married young and starting a family right away has shifted. Now it's more about choice, timing, and balance.
Exactly. And also, I want to make sure I've lived certain experiences before I take on that role, like traveling, career growth, and building my own identity. Then, when I step into the role of being a parent, I can bring more wisdom and stability to it.
That makes sense. For me, I do see family as part of my future plans too. I imagine having kids, not just because of tradition, but because I want to share life with the next generation. I want to teach, guide, and also learn from them. But like you, I don't feel the need to rush. I'd rather do it thoughtfully.
That's a healthy way to look at it. And sometimes people feel pressured by society to fit into a timeline. By 30, you should be married. By 35, you should have kids. But I don't think life should be that rigid.
Totally. Future planning should be personal, not pressured.
Speaking of family, let's also talk about relationships in general. For me, future planning includes surrounding myself with people who uplift me. Whether it's a partner, friends, or mentors, your circle matters.
Yes, 100%. You can have all the plans in the world, but if you're around negative or unsupportive people, your plans crumble. For me, one of my future goals is to nurture meaningful friendships. I don't want a huge circle. I just want a few people I can truly rely on.
Same here. Quality over quantity. And honestly, in the future, I want to invest more time into strengthening bonds, calling family more often, checking in with friends, being present. Because when we look back years from now, what will matter most won't be the money or titles, but the relationships we nurtured.
That's so true. Even science backs it up. Long-term happiness is strongly tied to healthy relationships.
Exactly. And future plans should include relationship goals too, like being a better communicator, setting healthy boundaries, and growing alongside your loved ones.
All right, let's shift gears to something very practical: finances. Because whether we admit it or not, financial planning is the backbone of almost every future goal.
Oh, yes. You can't plan to travel, start a family, or even retire peacefully without some kind of financial stability. For me, one of my future goals is to become financially independent, not just earning enough to live, but also saving and investing wisely.
That's smart. I've been thinking a lot about this too. For me, financial planning isn't about becoming super rich, it's about freedom. I want to reach a point where money doesn't dictate every decision. Like, I don't want to say no to opportunities just because I can't afford them.
Yes, that's financial freedom. And I think the earlier we start planning, saving, budgeting, maybe investing, the easier our future becomes. One of my goals is to build multiple income streams. Like, I don't want to depend on just one job.
Same here. I think the future belongs to people who diversify, whether it's side businesses, creative projects, or investments. That way, even if one stream dries up, you're still afloat.
Exactly. And also, financial planning gives peace of mind. When you know you have savings or a backup, you can take risks more confidently.
Yes, it's like building a safety net under your dreams.
Okay, now let's talk about the really big stuff. The dreams. When you picture yourself 20 or 30 years from now, what do you see?
Wow, that's a heavy one. Okay, let me close my eyes for a second. I see myself living in a peaceful place, maybe near the sea. I'm still working, but in a way that doesn't feel like work. Maybe writing, maybe teaching, maybe still podcasting. And I see myself surrounded by family and hopefully a community where I feel I belong. That's my long-term vision.
That's beautiful. For me, I see a similar picture, but maybe more nature. I dream of living somewhere green, like near forests or mountains. A small home, cozy, filled with books and creativity. And I want to wake up every day feeling grateful and calm. That's the ultimate future plan for me. Peace.
Yes, peace is underrated. People often think the future should be about success, but actually, peace and contentment are priceless.
Exactly, and you know what? Even though I want to achieve big things at the core of it, I want to live a life that feels fulfilling, not just impressive.
I love that. Fulfillment over flashiness.
But Alex, don't you think sometimes our dreams feel too far away? Like they're so beautiful, but then reality hits. Bills, responsibilities, unexpected challenges.
Absolutely. That's why I think future planning is about balance. You keep your big dreams alive, but you also create smaller, realistic steps to move towards them. For example, if my dream is to live by the sea, maybe I start by taking short vacations there, then eventually renting for a few months, and later making it permanent.
That's smart. Like breaking big goals into smaller milestones because otherwise dreams stay as dreams.
Exactly. And also, life is unpredictable. We might not get the exact future we imagine, but if we keep moving in that direction, we'll at least get closer.
Yes, and sometimes the journey itself becomes more meaningful than the final destination.
Wow, Mia, this part of the conversation has been so rich. We've touched on family, relationships, financial planning, and those long-term dreams that keep us motivated.
Yes, and I feel like this part really shows how interconnected everything is. Family, money, dreams, lifestyle, they all influence each other.
Exactly. And in the next part, I'd love for us to explore some futuristic ideas, like how technology, society, and global changes might shape our personal future plans.
That sounds exciting. Because the future isn't just about what we want, it's also about how the world will evolve.
For me, it starts with remembering that the present is part of the future. Every choice I make today shapes tomorrow. So instead of treating the future as a faraway land, I try to see it as something I'm already walking into step by step.
That's a beautiful perspective. For me, I think it's about balance. I like to dream big about the future, but I also ask myself, what can I appreciate right now? Otherwise, life becomes one long wait for happiness.
Exactly. Like if your plan is to travel the world in 5 years, you can start by exploring local places today. If your plan is to build a business, maybe today you can just read a book or take a small online course. The small steps keep you grounded in the now while pointing you toward the future.
Yes, and it prevents that someday trap where everything good is always in the future.
Yeah.
Speaking of small steps, I think that's the real secret of future planning. You don't just write down a vision board and hope it happens. You take tiny, consistent steps.
Absolutely. Like if I want to publish a book one day, I don't have to write 300 pages tomorrow. I can write a single page today, another tomorrow, and eventually it becomes a book.
Exactly. If I want financial independence, I don't need millions instantly. I can start by saving a little every month, learning about investments, building gradually.
Yes, it's like planting seeds. The future is your garden, but today is when you plant and water.
I love that metaphor. And it also shows that patience is part of the plan because gardens don't grow overnight, right?
Exactly, and sometimes the waiting, the process itself, teaches you just as much as the result.
But you know, Alex, even with planning, sometimes fear creeps in. The fear of uncertainty, the what if questions.
Of course, fear is natural. I felt it too, but here's how I think about it. Fear and excitement feel almost the same in our bodies. Your heart races, you feel butterflies. The difference is in how you label it. So I try to reframe fear as excitement about the unknown.
That's powerful. So instead of what if I fail, you ask, what if I succeed?
Exactly. Or even, what if this journey teaches me something unexpected? That way, fear doesn't stop you. It fuels you.
I like that. And I think another way to deal with fear is to prepare, but not over-prepare. Like, have a plan, but don't wait until conditions are perfect because they never will be.
Yes, perfection is the enemy of progress.
Another big challenge in future planning is staying motivated when setbacks happen. Because, let's be real, the path won't be straight.
That's true. For me, I remind myself that setbacks are part of the story. Every great success story has chapters of failure. So when something goes wrong, I try to see it as training, not tragedy.
That's a healthy mindset. For me, I lean on routines. Like if I lose motivation, I fall back on small daily habits, journaling, exercising, or even just making a to-do list. Those small habits keep me moving even when I don't feel like it.
Yes, habits carry you when motivation fades, and that's why building good daily routines is a key part of future planning.
Well, Alex, I can't believe how much ground we've covered in this series. From careers and family to technology and gratitude, we've explored so many angles of future planning.
Yes, and the main lesson is clear. Future planning isn't about having a perfect roadmap. It's about knowing your values, taking small steps, staying adaptable, and enjoying the journey.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, the future isn't some faraway destination. It's something we create moment by moment with every choice we make.
Beautifully said, Mia. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this conversation. We hope it inspired you to reflect on your own future plans and to take action today, no matter how small.
Yes, and remember, the best way to predict your future is to create it. So go out there, dream big, and also live fully in the present.
And with that, we'll wrap up this episode. I'm Alex.
And I'm Mia.
And this has been Talking About Future Plans. Until next time, take care and keep building the future you dream of.